What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I am comparing the Google Nexus 7 second generation with the Galaxy Tab 3 8.0. The reason why I choose this Tab 3 8.0 is because it has all the best features and the best specs if you compare that to the Tab 3 7.0 and the 10.1. So first look side by side with this Google Nexus 7, you can see that the Galaxy Tab 3 8.0 is slightly bigger in terms of the size in general and the screen size as well. And by the way, in this video I'm just going to refer to Tab 3 8.0 as a Tab 3 so we're on the same page, and I'll be pointing out the key features of both of them. So the Tab 3 comes in 8-inch displays, with the Nexus comes in 7-inch displays, and even though the Nexus 7 has a better resolution with 323 ppi, but they look fabulous right now. When talking about the external design of both devices, then the Tab 3, I have to say that it does look more luxurious, more stylish, and thanks to all those trimming around the edges and the corners, it just gives a better appearance in general. But you know, they are both plastic build, I know that, but still it just looks better. Anyway, so you can find the headphone jack on the top and the 5-megapixel cameras on the back with autofocus, and here you can find the speakers on the bottom on both sides and the mini USB port. On the right hand side you're gonna find the mini SD card slot for the memory extension and the infrared blast for the remote control with all the volume controls and the button controls on the side. Very solid feeling, very firm, and the sensors and the camera, which is the 1.3 megapixel front camera. On this side, the Nexus 7 has a black on black appearance, but doesn't have a lot of trimming around the edges in the corner. The top glasses is all glasses. There's no physical buttons like the Tab 3, but on the side we're gonna find a lot of buttons for volumes and power control. Headphone jacks on the top, very standard nowadays, and the mini USB port on the bottom with the speakers on both sides. There is an additional speakers on the top of the tablet as well with the microphone. The back cover is plastic built and it feels a little bit soft to touch to me, so it feels very nice. I guess it's for the scratch resistant purposes. Again, in the front there's no physical button, it's all touchscreen with all the glasses covered. If you want to compare with the Nexus 7s, then they shape up a lot of bezel, and that makes the Nexus 7 looks a lot slimmer. When you put them together side by side, then you know, you can see that there's not a lot of big difference between the sizes, but you do get 8-inch display in the Tab 3, but only 7-inch in displays of the Nexus 7. I guess there's a little bit of disadvantage in terms of the screen sizes here, and the weight about the same. Now let's talk about some key features in terms of software and user experiences. The Nexus 7 allows the user to launch the widgets and the apps right from the lock screen. You do have an option to add more widgets or choose auto user profiles, which requires some initial setup. I talked about that in my previous video. You're more than welcome to check that out. And the Tab 3 does not have that option for you, so it's something new with the Android system. And again, the Nexus 7 runs on the Android 4.3 and the Tab 3 runs on a 4.2 Android. But eventually, at some point in the future, then you can definitely upgrade your Tab 3 to a newer Android OS, such as a 4.3, for example. But the user experience, the touchscreen feels pretty snap quick and very smooth on both sides. The Tab 3 allows the user to add more front pages, so you can customize, move things around, add and delete, while the Nexus 7 does not allow that customization. And this is for you to add more or delete, move some widgets, some apps on the front pages, so it's for your convenience. And all the icons and the pop-up widgets looks very appealing, very bright on both of them, even though the Nexus 7 has a better pixels, better screen resolution, but I don't see that with my naked eyes. So here we go. So just some basic Android features that allows the user again to move things around, more customization compared to the Apple iOS. So for the notification bar, then the Tab 3 has one notification bar that has everything that you need to see in one of them. and the Nexus 7 they split it out into notification bar. One is for the emails and some other notification, and the other bar is for settings, as you can see right now. In addition, that both devices allow the user to get to the task manager right from the front page. It requires a different way to get there, but once you're there, you can multitask, decide which app you want to delete or make your devices run more efficient. Keep in mind that the Nexus 7 does not allow you to extend the memory like the Tab 3 because the lack of SD card slot. Hello.
Oh, there you are.
Hello? Now, as you can see, that the Tab 3 does have the S voice, which is a smart or interactive voice recognition or voice command system, which is an awesome feature like the Apple Siri. The Nexus doesn't support that features. And another key feature that the Galaxy Tab 3 has, which none of the other tablet on the market carries, is the multi-window, which allows the user to pull out multiple applications at one time, maximum and 2 at a time, but you can add more when you move along. This is a great feature because you can add another window, and you can also extend the window that you're working on while minimize the other one, or you can just close out the other one, whatever you want, which is awesome, and I like it a lot. I have to be honest with you that. So these are the Android tablet, which means that some of the applications, such as the Google Maps, they perform better than the Apple iOS. For some reason, that the Google Map that's on Android runs more efficient compared to the Apple iPad, because I have an iPad, so I can see how they're struggling chasing behind with the Google Maps on Android. And here the Google Earths are built in with the Android tablet, which is a very good feature for you when you want to find some things on Google. Speaking of App Store, they both share the Android App Store, which is growing very fast, and they're catching up with Apple App Store. And if you compare with Apple App Store, there's not a lot of big gaps anymore. And a lot of apps available in the Android App Store will be free, but not gonna be free on the Apple App Store. A lot of time that users, including me, using the tablets for typing documents and the emails, or even for chatting, and these two tablets perform very precisely. No lagging that I see, and that's like a very common complaint for Android tablets in general. They both support the voice recognition for those folks that tend to be lazy for typing. Coming up, the reason why I prefer a Galaxy Tab 3 is that even though that I pay a higher price, but I know that there's a lot of features that was already built in. I don't need to pay extra money, and one of those are the Polaris Office that allows you to create Word documents, Excels, and some PowerPoints, and you can edit them on the tablet, which is really good. It's ready to go for you right first scene, and that's something they start with the Galaxy Note 8.0, and they have that in most of the Galaxy devices now. Another innovative feature that the Tab 3 has is the universal remote control through the infrared blast port that I showed you earlier. And this you can just sync with any TV that you want, not just a Samsung TV, and you can remotely control them. I use that for my Sony TV at home. And the Galaxy Tab 3 Smart Stay feature will pause your music or video when you look away from the tablet, which is cool. Save your battery. So far you can see that the Tab 3 has a lot of friendly and innovative features that allow users to be more efficient in their daily tasks. And on the other side, the Nexus 7 comes in the competition very aggressively with the quad-core Snapdragon 1.5 GHz, and with all those crazy HD screen resolution and the pixel density in that small 7-inch displays. It's just like wow, like not even the iPad mini come even close. I have to be honest on that. But other than that, the Android interface compared with other Android tablets on the market are very similar. So we'll talk all about the specs of both devices, and we know that Nexus 7 has a better specs, and with the expectation that Nexus 7 is going to have a better score on this quadrant benchmark test. But you know, let's find out individually right now. So the Nexus 7 comes with the score of 5160, and the Samsung Tab 3 comes with 4514. Not such a big gap. Let's talk about the camera. We know that they both have front and rear cameras, and The Nexus 7 has the 1.2 front face camera with the rear 5 megapixel autofocus camera. You can see that there's some customization here that you can choose from, but not a lot like the Galaxy Tab 3 that has more features that help you max out your photography and video skills as well as the creativity. Not only that, they have different modes for you to use for different shooting settings as well as the voice control. Record videos. So this unique features is very convenient for those who want to do self-tamming that you are away from the tablet at the moment. Now talking about the gaming experience on both of these tablets, then I don't see a big difference between these two when it comes to like low-end games. But when it comes to like high-end games like racing or some 3D gaming, then definitely then the Nexus 7 is going to be perform a lot better because of the quad-core Snapdragon. So anyway, so we talked about all these specs in the future. You can see that the Nexus 7 offer a new feature from the Android OS, such as the restricted profile for additional user and crazy spec with the screen resolution. But on the other hand, it lacks of all the features that the Samsung Galaxy Tab 3 offers, and that's very unique. So I'll let you decide what you want to do with that, and leave a comment, subscribe, and see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching.